I'd like to welcome y'all back out to the HizandHerz podcast, Ep.5. I'm your host, DJ D Nice, and this is my lovely co-host, Miss Tay.
What up?
And we're here to bring you politics, family values, economics, and relationship values. You know what I'm saying? Once again, if you're in your car, your truck, your house, anywhere, come kick with us for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, we appreciate all the love. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and everything's beautiful, people. And we love you, and we thank you for the support. And without further ado, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a lovely weekend, but it wouldn't be right if I didn't do what I needed to do to please my señorita. How you doing, my queen?
Good, babe. Had an awesome weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's good. How your week been going?
Pretty good. Like I said, weekend was awesome because we got to spend time with family and friends, so that's always a plus.
Yep, that's always good. Oh, by the way, thank you for asking me how I'm doing. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm fine. I am fine. And but once again, people, I'm fine. By the way, thank you. You are in tune into the HizandHerz podcast, Ep.5, and you know we appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? We thank you for listening and tuning in. And without further ado, you know how we like to do. We got to go ahead and get this thing going.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of like brain twisted right now because you know y'all had me out there all this weekend, but it's cool. But without further ado, you know what I'm saying? What we got first, lovely?
All right. So, Trump administration overturns clean water regulations. On Thursday, September 12th, President Donald Trump's administration announced the appeal of a water regulation from President Barack Obama's tenure that gave the Environment Protection Agency border control of waterways and set limits on pollutants. The 2015 regulation, called the Waters of the United States Rule, clarified the definition of waters of the United States under the Clean Water Act and allowed for greater government control of lakes, streams, and wetlands. The rule was designed to limit pollution in 60% of waterways, which included sources of drinking water for 1/3 of the United States. Now, farmers will no longer need a permit to use chemical pesticides and fertilizers that could flow into waterways, reports the New York Times.
Man, it's a lot of... Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
It's a lot of like... not necessarily, well, bills as well, they get passed that a lot of people don't know about, laws that get passed that a lot of people don't know about, or they just don't take the time to do their research or whatever. Mm-hmm. But as far as this, you know, it goes unscathed, and a lot of people wouldn't know about it. So, but just like recently, like the last 6 months here with the bottled water, like, I was like, man, this tastes like it came out the faucet or something. I'm like, yo, this don't even taste right. Because I remember growing up, we used to drink out of the water hose on the side of the house. Just go turn our face on the faucet and drink it. And when it never like that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I drink spring water. Well, I drink all kind of water. If it's water, it's water. If it's going, you know what I'm saying? But I would prefer to drink spring water.
I don't care for spring water. It tastes like salt water to me. Even though I know that it's the right type of water to drink, I just prefer purified water or like the boiled water.
I mean, this is the stuff that like pesticides and stuff like that, they get in the water. That's why you see, like, no disrespect, like women or men, like their body be out of shapes and stuff. Also, it has something to do with the food you eat as well. But like you see like these weird shapes and like and like the majority of the city or the county, they all look the same and stuff like that. Well, you don't know what's going on in your water. You don't know what these people tell you you're going to buy at the store and things like that.
Right.
And you just drinking it and stuff like that. Because nowadays, but since when you had to pay for water always been free. And one bottle of like the little water, that ain't even a whole cup compared to how it used to be back in the days or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll have to drink whole cup. All we had was water and Kool-Aid. But, it flows into the waterways. So now you're only not talking about schools. Think about the schools, how many times you went to school and you had everybody drinking for the same water fountain, the same crap.
Yeah, I don't
you know what I'm saying? And, like, now the farmers just gonna go full throttle, into lakes, streams, wetlands, everywhere. Sort of like pollution, you know what I'm saying, in the air. You know what I'm saying? But, I seen the research or whatever about pollution in the airwaves, in certain areas like the chemtrails that they release allegedly that in urban areas that cause, people to want to argue, fight, commit crime and things like that. Just off the pollutants and things like that, because you know what I'm saying? Just like when you go to museums or you in class and they have the magnifying glass. Now imagine if you had on the magnifying glasses and you seen the water come out and you will see what's in there. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? You be like, wait a minute, I ain't drinking this. All this crap in here from the magnifying glass. So, I just want to, but the Trump administration been trying to roll everything back that Obama put in place.
Pretty much.
They all the same to me. That's just my personal opinion. That's my opinion. Democrat, Republican, all that. You know what I'm saying? If I was to vote, I'm a registered voter, but I don't know if I'm gonna vote this year or not. But if I were to put my money with someone, I would go with an independent person because I know they're paying out their pocket. They're not controlled by anyone or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. They don't have a hidden agenda. But I'm babbling. But you can go ahead, baby.
I say, as far as like what you just said about voting, I always vote, and I am a registered voter. I am Democrat, but I think that moving forward, I'm going to start looking for towards, like you said, the independents, because they are not controlled by nobody, and they're not being bought out, and they're not being required to say certain type of statements in order to be continued funded. But as far as like with the Trump administration, I definitely do agree with what you said, that they are rolling back a lot of things that Obama put in place. Not saying like he was the best president ever, but just in general, a lot of the things that he did put in place was to assist and to help with the preventions of the things that are currently going on. And with Trump being in office, the first thing he's trying to do is say, okay, well, let's go ahead and just roll back this. Let's go ahead and roll back that. But also keep in mind, folks, that Flint still does not have clean water, nor are they having running water that they can actually use. They're still using bottled water.
And Flint, you talking about Flint, Michigan?
Flint, Michigan.
Well, we'll have to give Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith.
Awesome.
He did.
Super awesome.
Yeah, he made sure he put his money up and made sure they had water. And also Jaden Smith out there in Cali, he got the I forgot the name of the truck that he's driving for the homeless people. I think it's I Care for You, I Love You, something like that. You could probably look it up. But he feeds the homeless people every day, free meals and things like that. So Jaden Smith doing this thing, but
it's the free vegan food truck for the homeless.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah.
And it's he also did the filtration known as the with the water filtration system known as the box water. Yeah. So yeah, I did see those. But yeah, that's super awesome.
Now just speaking for colored black people, and like when they say the lakes and streams and stuff, we don't swim in those lakes. We don't swim in those streams. You know what I'm saying? Most people won't mind about the water and stuff like that, the drinking and things like that. But now I ain't trying to get all technical and like I'm a doctor or anything. But if I'm not mistaken, water make up 90% of your body, something like that.
Yep.
So, hey, you just follow the. We're not saying that you got to become all Democrat, Republican, or follow the news, but just the stuff that matters, you want to keep close attention to and follow it. Hey, it's called a smartphone for a reason. It got everything you need to know right here if you research it. You can leave Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff alone for right now, but put your phone down, people. and use it for the right thing and stuff like that. But as far as that, they're gonna keep doing what they need to do to roll back stuff anyway. And but just watch what you put in your body. But moving on. L.A. County. Los Angeles County prosecutors say that they have charged Democrat donor and LGBTQ activist Ed Buck with running a drug house and other crimes after a man overdosed on methamphetamine at Buck's apartments last week. The man survived, but 2 other men have died from the overdoses at Buck's apartment in the past 2 years. Buck was arrested Tuesday night after months in which activists and relatives of the men who died have called for criminal charges related to the suspicious circumstances around deaths of 26-year-old Jamel Moore in 2017 and 55-year-old Timothy Michael Dean in January. Buck, who is 65, is now facing felony counts of battery, causing serious injury, administrating methamphetamine, and maintaining a drug house.
Right, because he was preying among black men. That's pretty much what he was
You heard
doing.
about that too? Like,
yeah, that's what he did. Every man that
his forte was black men?
Right, and so every man that he was sleeping with and he was doing things with, those were the ones that he were killing. They were black.
Yeah, he had a fetish.
It's sad.
Hey, this guy is a big donor for the Democratic Party. If I can fast forward and you know what I'm saying, and choose this outcome, I would say that, he'll probably get a slap on the wrist. He'll pay off a couple of people and things like that. But if, from my understanding, that he actually called the police and told them that to come get these dead people out of my house.
Yeah, he did.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because Moore, Letitia Nixon, the mother of Mr. Moore, stated that he had a well-documented history of isolating black men for predatory sex encounters, and people started crowding outside of his house, petitioning, saying justice for men because of the things that he was doing, and he had no type of remorse, no type of care, because a person with money feels like they can't be touched, and that's exactly who we're talking about here, which is Ed Buck. He did certain things and would say certain things, and he would prey on black gay men on purpose just to get them and lure them in, do things with them, and then after he did them, he purposely poisoned or he would purposely give them type of drugs to overdose and kill them.
Man, and he got that paper, so hey, I can understand those guys in those situations. Hey man, I give you 200,000. 200,000? Are you serious? But you just got to be my little sex friend. You know what I'm saying? You got to come to my house. You got to do what I say to do. It's not too far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Especially not in 2019. It couldn't even, I'm really reaching. I'm way over-exaggerating when I'm saying 200,000. You can give a brother 5,000. You know what I'm saying? You say, I'm having sex anyway, but you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because you think he giving you one thing, he shoot you with something, you paralyzed, you can't move. That's what a lot of predators and stuff like that, that's what they do to their victim. We used to watch a lot of movies like that where the guy, you know what I'm saying, prey on the women, and then he get them some type of drug. They paralyzed, but they can still see what's going on, know what's going on, but they just can't move.
I mean, they can't feel anything, but they know exactly what's going on. It's sad.
And running a drug house and other crimes. But they got him, though. They've been chasing him a minute. And, and he's 65. But,
It's truly sad.
They out there in them Hollywood Hills. They out in L.A., baby.
It's unfortunate.
Hey, we got to get these dudes off the streets, man. Well, they got them, every time stuff like this happen, I always imagine, just what if it was a black guy?
Right, doing this, and he would have been locked up a long time ago while they're waiting on doing the processing of an investigation if he was preying on white men doing these type of things. Because the things that he would do, like when they found, when paramedics found Moore, he was working as an escort. He was naked on a mattress in the living room with the male pornography movie playing on the TV. Also, police found inside of the apartment with sex toys, syringes, clear plastic bags that had different that were suspected of methamphetamines, but they didn't know at the time exactly what was it. But there was 24 syringes with brown residue in them, 5 glass pipes with white residue, and burn marks, plastic straws with possible white residue, clear plastic bags with white powdery residue, and a clear plastic bag that had like a crystal-like substance. So pretty much it sounds like cocaine, crystal meth, heroin. I mean, a number of things, but he's giving these different type of drugs, mixing them, giving it to these guys back to back to back on purpose. And he was saying, oh, well, I didn't force them to do the drugs, but if you know that they're on drugs, they're addicted to drugs, and you already know this, and you're aware of this, and you're continuously feeding them, you are administering their overdose. You're the reason why they're overdosing, because you're continuously giving this to them after you have sex with them and do different things with them, and then they die. It's just, he's sick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got him though. We're gonna follow that closely, and see what happened with Mr. Ed Buck. And
Hopefully.
Side note, still Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, still no funeral, people. We ain't seen
no
him.
body, no funeral, no caskets, no nothing.
It's been well over a month.
Exactly.
Unless they had a private meeting, but
like I said, he's not dead.
shout out to Urban X TV, the Urban X Podcast TV with Black Dot and his son or whatever. But I heard them saying something about Epstein, or was it Red Pill? With Phil Moreland, Red Pill and Blue Pill too on the internet. Y'all can look them up. But they were saying something about him, how he was like a not British intelligence spy, but he was some from somewhere. He's an spy. He was getting the money, and the guy that gave him that house in New York in Manhattan, he's an older guy. I forgot his name, but he's an LGBT activist as well, and he fronted the money for them. I don't want to get too philosophical and technical, but to wrap it all up, he ain't who he's not who we thought he was, like, because he just popped up. We don't know where he came from or anything. Like, who is Jeff? You know what I'm saying? So it's deeper. If you peel the cloths back, it's deeper. But that's another. We can't go deep into that. But you just got to do your research and pay attention. And enlighten yourself. But
absolutely.
So good luck. I'm glad they got you, Ed Buck.